Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Sovereign Woman, and I am a firm believer that the number one way for women to come together, especially in the Black community, the one thing that has to happen is that women have to decenter men as a whole, as a group. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, what the hell does that got to do with anything? This is my theory, okay? My theory is women bicker with each other. A lot of women are in competition with one another. A lot of women don't want to help each other. It all stems from being male identified. Because if you notice that when women are not male centered, they tend to get along better with women in general, just on a general scale. Because you don't have anything to fight over. You're not in competition with each other. There's nothing there that will stop you from wanting to build a sisterhood. Even when you come across women that don't want to build a sisterhood, or they're very backstabby, or they are very into like betrayal, and they are petty and nitpicky, it is because that woman is male centered. Does that make sense? Like, even if you're not, and even if you want community with women, you come across women, you're like, I don't like these bees. They are petty, they're catty, they're jealous, they're envious, they're always self-sabotaging, they're trying to set you up for failure. It is because they are male-centered. When two women get together as friends, neither of them are focused on men, but they're focusing on their careers, and they're focused on, buying a house or raising their children or whatever. They tend to get along better. If you really think about it, women get along better when they're not male centered. They just do. Now, the problems that women do come in contact with, a lot of it is internalized misogyny. So even if you are a pick me in reform or a male centered woman in reform, you still have to undo internalized misogyny. So a lot of times that will still be there. Either way, it's all underlying to the fact that women are male centered. I hope you guys are following what I'm saying. To me, that's my theory. Once women center themselves and center their children and center their careers or their health or whatever, and they're not focusing on the man, there is automatically more room in her life for female friendships. Automatically, like the space just opens up like the floodgates. And so this is why I'm going to always have a conversation about pick me women, and why pick me's are never picked. Women who are male centered, women who are male identified, you can't really be friends with women like that, because they are always going to choose their men over you. Those are the ones that when they get married, they disappear. When they get a boyfriend, they disappear. Anytime a man starts paying them any type of attention, they disappear. They will cancel plans with you because they're with their boo, their new man now, and all that stuff. Those are the women who you really can't be friends with. But in my opinion, the way to come together, the number one step, and y'all may be noticing this on social media now, that the women who you are starting to find any kind of community with, if you have, I know it's hard for a lot of us to find that, but if you've started that, you will notice this woman has her own life. This woman has real life goals out here. This woman is focusing on starting her business, or expanding that, or taking care of her children, or focusing on traveling, or whatever. She's not male identified. Those are going to be your best friends. That is the type of community that I want to build. And I'm working on my first episode, or I haven't decided on Patreon if the very first episode I put out is going to be a recording or if it's going to be a live panel. I'm not sure yet, but I definitely, one of the perks of my Patreon is that I want to do at least one monthly live panel where once a month we all come together and we're all on screen, whoever wants to be on screen, and we're all chit-chatting and sharing information and kind of having a girls' night type of thing. That is one of the perks. I'm not sure which one I want to go with at the moment, but I do believe wholeheartedly that that's where this has to start. You have, even before self-help and going to therapy and all that stuff, even before all of that, getting rid of the male gaze, getting rid of the need for the male gaze is where we have to start, in my personal opinion. I hope that tracks. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I had a few stitches that I want to share, and I'm going to commentate on them in between each one, like I always do. So let's start with how narcissists like to triangulate pick me women with each other.
Male narcissists, they seek after females who aren't girls. And what this means is you don't value the next woman. These type of women, they have a mindset that we aren't the same. We are different, and who he was to you, he's not going to be with me. Well, that may be true with a man who can actually self-reflect and change, but when it comes down to a narcissist, they love someone who thinks this way, because no one will be able to tell you that this person is really a evil, sadistic, calculated, pathological con artist. And when they actually find out that, that they wasn't so different after all, they're going to learn the importance of being a girl's girl.
The reason why that's so important is because this is a situation where women are hell-bent on finding out the hard way. And myself and other content creators do this type of content because we are trying to help you as much as we can. We're trying to save you from finding out the hard way and possibly ruining your lives. Now, sometimes experience is the best teacher. For a lot of us, that's the case. Sometimes there are things that you just don't have to freaking go through. A smart person learns from their mistakes, but a brilliant person learns from the mistakes of others, or something along those lines. I think I butchered that, but I hope you guys get the point, right? I've always lived off of that motto ever since before I was even a teenager. I'm like, if I can learn from other people's mistakes so that I don't have to make those mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes are irreversible. If I don't have to make those mistakes, I'm not going to. I'll learn from the people around me, the men around me, the women around me. And that's the reason, one of the top reasons why I did not find myself in a lot of situations dealing with men, because I learned from the mistakes of the women around me. I'm like, I don't want to be like that, right? But a lot of women do want to find out the hard way, and I hate that so bad for y'all. When you get with a man who was an asshole to the women before him or to his baby mama, he's going to be an asshole to you. Now, I know that a lot of y'all want to believe, and I was guilty of this at one point in my life as well, especially in my 20s, okay? You want to believe, well, whatever he did to her, he ain't going to do to me. In some cases, that can be true, but it just means that it won't be those particular things, but it's going to be something else. Like if you're dealing with a man who's a garbage human being, he may not put his hands on you the way that he put his hands on that woman, but he'll be cheating on you, or he'll lie to you, or he will belittle you verbally, things of that nature, because he's not a good person. His non-good personness is going to manifest in one way or another. It may not be the exact same thing that he did to his baby mama or his wife, but it's going to still be something diabolical. At the end of the day, a man's character, if it's effed up, it's effed up. And I want women to understand the way men treat women before you is how he's going to eventually treat you. And the only time there's an exception to that is if the man really sat down and self-reflected and actively chose every day to be a better man. I can assure you that the vast majority of men are not doing that. What they're actually doing is pretending to be a better man. And most of them don't even do that. Okay. So if you are watching the way a man has done his wife or his girlfriend or his fiance or whatever, if he's cheating on her, he's going to cheat on you. If he's belittling her, he's going to belittle you. It's only a matter of time. A lot of times men take their time and wait. They sit back in the cuts and they wait to find out what your weaknesses are, what your insecurities are, and then they play on them. You're going to get what's coming to you sooner or later. So when you see a man treating a woman a certain way, understand that it has nothing to do with that woman as much as it has to do with the kind of person he is. Just like if you think about yourself, if you were a good woman to a guy and you treated him right and you were trying to be submissive and you were his confidant, his therapist, you had his back, you held him down, and he still dogged you, that didn't have nothing to do with you. You were doing most things or everything right. It has to do with him. If a man is telling you all these sexual things he wants in the bedroom, and then you do it, and then he still cheats on you, that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of him. He's not fulfilled, or he's insecure, or whatever. But women will blame themselves. And I'm here to tell you, this has to do with the character of that man at the end of the day. That's what it has to do with. And vice versa. Even if it was vice versa, if it was a woman dogging a man out, that's her character. There's nothing you can do about that. So that is one of the ways that a narcissist man will triangulate women. And y'all fall for that BS every single time. You're like, I'm going to be different. You're not. And if it's different, it's only going to be different in the sense where it's going to be a different type of dogging out that he's going to do to you. It'll be something different, still diabolical, but different.
This is your reminder to stay difficult. It may seem as if these girls that are easy, that have no standards, the pick Mishas that are letting the guys lie and cheat and taking them back, that they're the ones that are getting men that are running off into the sunset. You probably are on the brink of folding on your standards. Let me tell you why you shouldn't. Pick Mishas never work out. Pick Mishas never work out because when you let a man do anything to you, you're so emotionally invested on that situation working out. So you want to know what starts happening to the guy? He starts losing his freedom. He starts being smothered by Pick Misha, and he starts feeling like he's in prison. You want to know what he works his way over to? The girl that was difficult. Men love difficult women. Don't ever forget it. They love a challenge. The girl that had standards, that loved herself, that put herself first, that was selfish in a relationship, that was having a good time, that wanted, that didn't need him, okay? Never forget, women cry first, men cry longer. He's going to regret it. Pick Misha was fun, but that's not where he's going to stay.
Now, I agree with pretty much everything she said. I just want to push back on one point. Men love a difficult woman, okay? I don't want you guys to take that as, okay, I just need to be difficult and the man is going to love me, okay? In my opinion, and I say this on almost every video, because I know I get new subscribers every day, so I have to keep saying this stuff over and over, which I don't mind doing, by the way. Most men are trash. White, black, Asian, Chinese, it doesn't matter, okay? And so when we talk about what men love, don't take that as gospel, right? It does seem like men tend to be more aroused by women who are difficult, or why men love bitches, and books like that and stuff like that. It does seem that way, but it's important to know that the outcome is still typically going to be the same at the end of the day, because a man who likes to conquer women and like to try to go after women who present a challenge, a lot of times those men are emotionally damaged. Because if you really think about it, who wants to play a game of cat and mouse for their whole relationship? It's somebody that gets bored easily, somebody who's very impulsive, somebody who lacks good judgment. Those are the people who are constantly looking for a thrill in their relationship. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting to keep the spark alive and all that, trying new things, 20 years anniversary into your marriage, you want to try something new and you guys both agree on it. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to find the balance between, am I constantly putting on a show, this performative show, to keep him interested? Because you're going to grow tired of that. This is why so many women look tired and haggard and look 10, 15 years older than what they are, because they are constantly having this battle of, I got to keep him happy. I got to jump through hoops. Meanwhile, I can guarantee you the man ain't jumping through no hoops. They're not lifting a finger. You're the one as the woman that are doing that. And a lot of times men know, or they feel as though they can just go find another woman once things dry up. No pun intended. But like when things are no longer fun and it's not exciting anymore, they're just going to replace you or find them a side chick anyways. They're not lifting a finger. That's why women are typically the ones that file for divorce. You have to ask yourself, do you really want to deal with a relationship like that? So even if a man loves a challenge, which a lot of times they do, understand that even when they finally conquer that challenge, it's the exact same analogy I use with the deer heads. I've used this analogy many times, and I probably will always use this analogy. Men will go hunting for a deer, a buck, with the horns or whatever, so that or antlers. I forgot what they're called. Y'all know, the ones with the spikes or whatever. And they will kill it, gut it out. They will get it taxidermied, and then they will hang it on their wall. And that represents, I conquered this. I dominated this. I won that battle. I look at what I got. Ooh, look at me, right? But do you think that they're not going to want to go right back out there and hunt another deer sooner or later? They will. So just because they captured you and, you were hard to get, that deer was hard to get. He was out there for hours working hard to get that deer. Every time he shot that bow, he kept missing. And he finally got it because he worked hard for it. He went through the process, got it hung up on his wall. He's going to be right back out there again next deer season, trying to collect another deer head. And that's typically the mindset of the average man. Understand that this is how most men are. So even when you are a challenge and they have finally captured you after, let's say you let them chase you for 3 years or 5 years or 7 years, even when they capture you, the chances are they're still going to end up losing interest sooner or later. This is why I don't want women wrapping their identities up in these men, because they're going to lose interest in you. I am no different. I know every day that my man could wake up tomorrow or next week and be like, I want something new. I was able to pull this baddie. I might be able to pull another baddie. I know this is how most men think. Okay. Some women get lucky and they never have to deal with that. I will never put myself in a situation where I think I got all the answers and he's never going to leave me and, he knows better. No, I know how men think at the end of the day. This is why you should have them in your life, have fun with them, enjoy their company, get whatever perks and benefits out of it. Hopefully it lasts for a long time. If it doesn't, you move on. And you don't have to start over from scratch because you never gave anything up to begin with. That is how you're supposed to deal with these relationships, because these men will absolutely lose interest, get bored, and go want to chase another thrill, especially when they hit their midlife crisis, especially when they are faced with death, when they are thinking about their own mortality. When that conversation and those thoughts come up in their head and they start really fixating on that, they're the most unstable, unreliable people on the planet at that point. Now, keep in mind, they're unreliable and unstable even before that point. But once they hit that point, you can guarantee cheating is going to happen. Selfishness is going to, be at an all-time high. They're going to find all ways to avoid you. They're going to do all these things that has nothing to do with you because they are terrified that their time on earth is winding down. So that's just one example.
Pick-me's don't usually get picked. And if they do get picked, they don't usually get picked by quality men. They usually get picked by guys who are either really insecure, so they need a woman who needs them, who's going to become dependent on them, or they tend to get picked by men who are very manipulative. They don't get picked by quality men. That's the hypocrisy of the whole argument. Men will tell you this is what we want, but they don't pick that girl. That's why the irony kills me of guys that will come on like my social media, and when I'm giving women advice, they'll be like, oh, see, that's the reason why you're single. That's the reason why you don't have a man. That's the reason why you don't have a ring on your finger, all these things. And I'm like, really, sir? Because listening to men and listening to men say what they wanted and trying to be the perfect woman, trying to be that woman that men said that they wanted is actually what got me single. Because I dedicated too much of my life to trying to cater to men and trying to be what men wanted.
Mm-hmm. And that is what I want women to understand. So when you see like these good dating coaches or people online talking about, oh, this is what men want, this is what men like, I need you to take that with a grain of salt. I need you to understand that there is no magic formula for men because they are so fickle and unreliable and unpredictable. And I always say they're so unpredictable that they become predictable. If you can follow that logic, right? You can pretty much guarantee to the letter all the ways that they're going to react in this situation or in that situation. They just become, they're just fickle. They're fickle. And this is why it is so important that women don't allow themselves to get wrapped up in a man. And I know that this is not what women want to hear. They want to believe that a man is going to come and rescue them and everything is going to be well with the world. They're going to have their kids and their white picket fence and their soccer mom band and whatever else, and everything is going to work out. The fairy tale is made up. Do some women end up getting that by default? I think so. But that percentage is so low. Like, your chances with this current crop of men, y'all can forget it. It's going to take a couple of generations, in my opinion, to wash away patriarchy. And, we live in a world where boys are raised up to actually see women as human and things of that nature. It's going to take a lot of work in a few generations, in my opinion. Once you get over the need to be with a man, and in a way where you feel like you have to have kids and you got to be this housewife and this perfect mom and all this other stuff. Once you let that go, I promise you, if you know where to look inside of you and you know what to cherish outside of you, all of that anxiety behind this goes away. Because I know when I tell women the fairy tale is dead, a lot of women just don't want to accept that. When Princella told y'all men are not incapable of love, a lot of y'all just don't want to accept that. You're like, that sounds evil and bitter and whatever else. The thing is women who believe in this stuff will always have their heart broken. Every time you turn, you're going to end up like Halle Berry. And I like Halle Berry. I've been a Halle Berry fan since I was a kid. Probably since Losing Isaiah, and I saw that movie a long time ago. I was very young, and but to me, from my perspective, Halle Berry is a hopeless romantic, and hopeless romantic women they go to their graves heartbroken. They're always heartbroken because they're constantly putting themselves out there for slaughter. They keep putting themselves out there because they believe that every man that they get into a relationship with is coming with good intentions. They believe that this man actually loves you and that this man actually cares. When really, in my personal opinion, men get with Halle Berry because they see her as an easy lick. She's beautiful. They want to be able to say, I was with Halle Berry. Like, I have a baby with her. I used to F her every night or whatever. They get with her to make themselves look good amongst the patriarchy. And women like her. And women don't seem to make the connection. Every time you turn around, they're getting a divorce or they're breaking up with somebody because the men are all the same. That's why all these women all around the world are all getting the same results, because men are generally the same when it comes to how they view women, which is not human. Something to parade on my arm, a trophy to make me look good, a toy that I don't want anybody else to touch, even if I don't want it, but I can hang it up on my mantle. That is how they see women, as cars, as doorknobs, things of that nature. They don't even compare us to human type things. They compare us to inanimate objects. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just using her as an example. There's nothing wrong with wanting love because we grew up believing that was possible from men. But y'all are going to find that the true love that you're going to find, if you're going to find it, is going to come from other women. Your community is going to come from other women. Even though every woman is not the village, I am one of those women that's not the village. I say this all the time, okay? And I'm only saying that because I know what my pressure points are. I know what my strengths and my weaknesses are. I am not babysitting. I am not finna be responsible for kids. I'm not adopting. I'm not fostering. I don't have it in me to do that. There's too much that I want to do with my life. But I will still support you. You know what I'm saying? If you need help paying your rent or something, I'll be there. Especially if I got it, you got it. And I'm not saying I'll do that for any old body, but I'm just using it as an example. I will help you in ways that I can, but I'm really not the village. I chose not to have kids for a reason, but that doesn't mean that I won't help you in all the other ways in your life, because I will, right? We all have to know what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and we can bring that together as a whole, which is what I want to do on my Patreon. Every woman has a voice. Every woman has a story. Every woman is going to have something that she can bring to the pot. And we all have our areas of expertise, right? And so imagine all of these different women with all these different skills coming to one place or going to, certain platforms amongst other women in the same boat and helping each other. That is what I want. That is what I'm working on. So my first episode over there might be a live panel or it might be a live video. If it's not a live video, it'll be a live panel. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. But that's really all I got for this. I just wanted to put that bug in y'all's ear. It's coming soon. I'm working on it. I want it to be good. So that's why I'm taking my time. And if you didn't know, I'm a part of a podcast, the Audaci-Tea, on Spotify and Apple with YB Edit, aka Lisa and Gwen. And we drop new episodes every Monday. And we have a YouTube, we have a TikTok, we have an Instagram. It's Audaci-Tea across all the boards, all the platforms. And we talk about this stuff all the time. But the Patreon has to come because there's certain things that we just can't say on a live platform. It would have to be behind a paywall. So I have to keep reiterating that to y'all because that's the only way I can say what I want to say and not have to worry about getting flagged and being demonetized and all that. You guys will come over there and you will be there because you just want to support your favorite content creators, right? That's what it's for. That's why a lot of us are moving to Patreon. That's the number one reason. We want to be uncensored, and there's so much information that we want to share with you guys that everybody can't see because everybody ain't meant to see it. And we can't, I can't pull up to y'all's houses and be like, hey, y'all, let's go have a barbecue in the park. Like, we can't see each other in real life, in most cases. So we have to get together the best way we know how and share information. And that's what it's all about. So anyway, leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about my theory that the number one way for women to come together, the first step is for women to decenter men and start focusing on more important things because men are never going to center women. Most husbands don't center their wives. They're not going to center you. They center their own hobbies, their homies, and themselves. So there's no reason for you to do that. You just have to remember that. And, share the video, comment, like, and all that because it helps my algorithm. It helps to push my video out to more viewers. And you guys have been doing that very well this whole time. So I am grateful. But keep doing it. Thank you. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. But stay tuned. I will be putting out announcements for when my videos are up on Patreon. So stay tuned. Bye.
All together, girls. 1, 2, 3. Fuck these men on the internet. They don't know what they want, but they will see what they can get. Oh, go and waste your one and only precious life while pretending not to have a full receding hairline. So keep your eyes on his hairline and your hand on your drink. For all you know, he is a psycho.